Joining us now is criminologist Casey Jordan. Casey, always good to have you with us.
Great to be here.
It's so odd to see two of these in 1 week, although we just learned the one in Arizona. There may be a connection there. A Bethany store in Vancouver, though, apparently random. Do you see a connection, though, between these two?
Well, the only connection is the idea that the Bethany Storen story was in the news so much that it could have actually been an inspiration to somebody who already held a vendetta, who got the idea from watching television. If they were jealous, if they were thinking of getting back at somebody, maybe the idea hatched in this woman's head that this would be the way to actually get retaliation against the woman in Arizona.
And it's interesting that you see women do this to other women, because it's not something that's very common in this country, although we have seen it in other parts of the world. Famously, sadly, with even Afghan girls going to school, they have acid thrown on them. In other areas of Southeast Asia as well. But that's men. This is women.
Right. And in international cultures, it's usually a way of controlling women, especially women who have spurned advances. It's a way of men exerting control and putting women in their place by harming their beauty. But that same concept of harming somebody's beauty can also be used by other women who are very jealous or upset because they understand that in American culture, a woman's physical, facial beauty is really huge in our culture. So to get back at somebody, to teach her a lesson, one woman to another, it's usually linked to jealousy or retaliation, almost always over a man or a previous relationship.
And both the women who we've seen attacked, very attractive women. Do you think that that did in fact come into play, their physical appearance?
I do, and especially, even though I do believe the attack in Washington was random, don't forget that the attacker there said, "Hey, pretty girl." She used the word pretty to describe Bethany before splashing her with the acid. And even though we think in Arizona that the victim was targeted and we don't know who the culprit is, the fact that she is such an attractive woman probably played a role in the choice of attack.
Why acid, though?
It's easy to obtain. It's cheap. I mean, as they say, even the smallest child can strike a match. Well, anyone, male, female, can get a caustic substance at a hardware store and actually do incredible damage to somebody with very little effort.
It's such a scary thought, and you mentioned that because this other story was in the news so much, there's a chance someone could look at it. I mean, is that most often how you see crimes develop, is simply from this copycat fashion?
It's not that common, no. And in the United States, even though we have a number of acid attacks in the last few years, very few of them have made the news. You have to ask yourself, there's a balance between giving enough media attention to this to show the problem it's becoming, but also walking away and understanding that they are isolated incidents. You don't want to make it into a snowball factor where people get the idea.
It is definitely disturbing. Casey, good to have you with us this morning.
Always great to be here.